You're listening to Bloomberg Business Week with Carol Massar and Bloomberg Quick Takes Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
Well, Tim and I recently, we've talked about this a bunch at the Bloomberg Live Work Shifting event, had several conversations about what work looks like on the other side of the pandemic, what's normal. It's something we know we are all continuing to redefine. And so in keeping with that, 1 week ago, Audible signing a deal with the workforce tech company 1Huddle, giving Audible employees access to the company's offerings and helping with worker development, helping with training. So it's like all fits into kind of this new world order.
Something that we talk about each and every week, right? The idea of upskilling and how workers can be, what companies can do to attract and retain talent in this environment. Don Katz is the founder and CEO of Audible.com, also the founder of Newark Venture Partners. Sam Caucci is the CEO of 1Huddle. As Carol mentioned, it's a platform. It uses mobile games for workforce training. They are funded in part by Don Katz's Newark Venture Partners. They both join us on the phone from Newark, New Jersey. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm very good, Don, and I'm just great to be here, Tim.
Yeah,
Carol, wonderful to be with you again.
Hi, guys.
And, what a treat to be with Sam, a fantastic entrepreneur with an amazing company.
Well, Don, that's where I wanted to start, where this partnership started and how you guys came together. Well,
I don't want to go too far back, but Newark Venture Partners is one of my great points of pride. It's something that has become when I'm asked to talk about what goes on in my world internationally, it's Newark Venture Partners is as much high on the list as talking about Audible's growth and success over the years. Sam Caucci is just an example of one of the people who came to us with basically just post an idea for a company to disrupt something that's been very, very complicated for years. You guys probably know there's a graveyard of large companies that tried to do corporate learning and training and basically diverting employees to do various things on the desktop, and they've figured out a fantastic gamified way of doing it. But what's really pride point is that they are key to these 98 companies that Newark Venture Partners has brought into Newark, New Jersey, where we're proudly headquartered. We went there in 2007. I think Carol remembers, with about 100 people, and there's about 1,900 of us there, and we have people all over the world in many, many global centers, but it's been an amazing experience to have this venture fund, which is kind of, if people may not know, it's double bottom line concept where you have profound social impact by planting high growth technology companies and bringing them into Newark to be with us, and this huge social output, as well as has great returns for investors, and also a fantastic chance to have people who work at Audible, who have a lot of subject matter expertise across everything you can think of, help mentor and help these companies to really differentiate it from other venture funds.
Yeah, it is pretty remarkable. I'm a Jersey girl, and I think about the impact that you guys have had, certainly on the Newark area. Hey, Sam, come on in on this conversation and talk about the partnership with Audible, because you guys, it's really thinking about the community and how to improve the community as well.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Don said double bottom line, and I think from the early days of moving to Newark and being able to watch and observe how a company like Audible has been a leader in the community. From every corner of the organization, their team members get involved. And, this partnership is a testament of, on one hand, Audible is going to be expanding their investment into their workforce, which they already do a tremendous job of thinking about mission and culture and core values. And in this future of work moment, we all know connectedness is hard. And, so on one hand, it's Audible investing in technology infrastructure to keep their workers connected, prepared, ready, and developed. And on the second prong, it's also investing in the community. Part of this partnership, Audible is, stepping forward and top of other many initiatives are doing in the city to make 1Huddle as a tool available to community organizations, ranging from groups helping homeless youth to returning citizens to younger mentorship programs, to make sure that the community also has access to a tool like ours as they prepare for the future of work.
Well, Sam, stick on that a little bit, because, for people who aren't familiar with 1Huddle, give us an idea of the games that are offered, because you guys have thousands of games that are on demand. Enterprise companies can use it. And I'm wondering, how you get employees to use it? Is it part of like a mandatory training, or is it something that they're expected to do, as something that they find so engaging that they like just start playing it on their commute?
Sure. Over 90% of gameplay on 1Huddle happens off the clock or around the edges of work.
That's amazing.
So it's, I think that what we've learned is you can learn anything in a game. I could use Wordle at this moment, looking at other products that use.
You're speaking Carol's language right now if you mention Wordle.
Oh my God, I'm so in love with it. Okay, go ahead. Just got about 30 seconds and then we'll come back and talk more. Go ahead.
Yeah, the idea is, take something everybody needs to know, make it accessible to them on mobile first. But the competition, everybody on 1Huddle at Audible and the communities we work in, you learn by playing. And that creates an opportunity where workers raise their hand and want to do training, don't just have to do it.
Well, and if you think about, gamification, right, and you think about a younger workforce, I mean, they're so used to kind of gaming and playing that to kind of incorporate into training and so on and so forth, it's really productive. Guys, sit tight for a second. We're going to come back to Don and Sam. We do want to get back to our guests. Don Katz is with us, founder and chief executive officer of Audible.com and founder of Newark Venture Partners. He's on the phone from Newark, New Jersey. Also,
Sam Caucci, the CEO of 1Huddle. It is a platform that uses mobile games for workforce training. They are funded in part by the Newark Venture Partners, which is, of course, founded by Don Katz as well. A couple things to note here. The Audible partnership, a $1 million deal with 1Huddle. Don, I want to go back to you to talk a little bit about this, because I'm wondering what your goals are at Audible in terms of providing this skill training to the workforce there. And then I want to move broadly outside of Audible and talk about the Newark community and what you're doing there too.
Great. Well, let me just a couple quick things. So, Tim and Carol, I'm now chairman of Audible. I'm executive chairman. And
oh my God!
So
how did we?
Fantastic CEO, and I'm Bob Kerrigan. I get to be the proud, I guess, maybe grandfather.
Maybe spend some more time at Newark Venture Partners too?
Yeah, no, the Venture Partners, I'm still founder and obviously a huge supporter. And, a deal like this is kind of a no-brainer. And it's one of the great advantages of the structure of Newark Venture Partners, which it's not a captive venture fund, which used to be these things where one company would create a venture company, and not real popular with founders because there was one exit strategy. Lots of corporations and lots of individuals and lots of even nonprofits have invested in this, and it allows all of us to have business development opportunities like this because we look up close, we know the character of the company, we know the people, and our people get interact. It's a great model. And I just have to say one other thing is a fantastic story and funny about Meta executives, sort of dissipating all over the world.
You were listening, were you?
Various beaches and the virtualization of work, which is kind of related. I got to tell you, there's nothing better than moving to a place like Newark, where the quality of human beings and the capacity to give people a chance as part of what your corporation does, it unleashes a level of energy inside our company that makes it one of the more exciting cultures that I've known about. And you guys might know I spent 20 years writing about corporate cultures and corporations before I started Audible. So it's just it's a kind of germane because what we're doing now is trying to, I think, capture the essence of what this complex and kind of dense corporate culture that we've created over the years, which brings together, the best of the most advanced technology. And we invented the first digital audio player way back when, along with this tremendous cultural impact we have. We're the largest employer. We've employed 60,000 different performers and actors over the last 10 years. And then you add in all the different executive characteristics, and then the fact that we've managed to hire people from all over Newark. There's not a neighborhood or street that somebody doesn't work, often trained from unlikely backgrounds into sophisticated jobs. So it's all part of this pastiche. And if there's any company that could capture that in a way that new employees and other employees, can learn and become, more, more sort of one with the acculturation process, of being part of who we are in a distinctive way, then this is the right company. So we're really proud to make the investment.
Well, and I'm curious, and Sam, come on back in, in terms of post-pandemic, this very tight labor force, how we are rethinking, training with workers and reaching out to maybe populations of workers that we weren't seeking out, and also the ability of hybrid to basically be anywhere and work for many different companies, which wasn't necessarily the case, right? If you wanted to work for maybe a certain company, you had to be near where they were geographically located.
Sure. I mean, we know that companies today need to invest in better infrastructure to stay connected to workers wherever they may be. We also know that when I moved to Newark, one of the things I realized by walking Broad Street and being a part of the community is that depending on where you sit in an organization, greatly impacts what access you have to opportunities to develop yourself personally, positionally, and professionally. And data shows 83 cents of every training dollar goes to the top. Doesn't quite get down to the low-wage workforce that makes up the majority of our workforce today. And I think companies that are thinking about future of work are having to rethink what technologies they're using to keep people connected, not for the job they're in today, but maybe for whatever the next job may be. And I think through this partnership, Newark is showing that Audible is showing a commitment in the community to go beyond just their team members and reach out to the folks in the community that may help maybe work at 1Huddle someday, or may work for the next startup that's coming to Newark, or work for another business that's here in this great city.
Don, I do feel like the last 2 years, we've been talking about it a lot in terms of financial markets and where we were 2 years ago at the start of the pandemic, and markets just coming undone, the economy, our world as we knew it coming undone. But I also do think about, we've stressed the importance of community, right? We had to during the pandemic, and then the killing and murder of George Floyd, like thinking about much more broadly the different communities that maybe we don't always think about. How do you hope this partnership does continue to build on what you have done for that Newark community?
Well, obviously, if this could be a way of continuing to train people who didn't think they could have jobs at a technology-driven company, and we can welcome them and also use the system because we have a massive global workforce, it could be an incredibly powerful way to convey a sense of who we are. But what you said is obviously painful. This has been a 2 years where inordinately people without privileges in society or wealth were much more hammered, as I'm sure you know, than obviously people with assets, and the numbers show that. And it's also true that the abandonment of the downtowns by corporations in more historically challenged areas is far more devastating in terms of job destruction and the like. So we did respond, as we tend to do. We did another startup called Newark Working Kitchens, which is a huge success, where it was very simply, we have 30 restaurants, and we started buying 200 meals a day and then using our trucks to actually target the delivery of the meals to people who were stuck either in housing projects or had COVID, or obviously had health reasons that they couldn't be traveling, and people don't tend to have cars. So it really served a real purpose, and we served 1.4 million meals to many, many thousands of people. So it's the kind of thing that once you're in a city like that, the city, you're proud to be in the city, as Sam and I are, and Sam's amazing. Well, he's like a poster child. Everybody knows Sam in Newark, and he's got another job building this, what's going to be a huge Audible-sized corporation. But he, the idea of having that kind of, passion for other people's lives, and also having a business purpose, you just can't do anything better than that.
Wow, he's got a great model in you guys, Don. Our thanks to both of you. A really thoughtful conversation. Felt like I really needed that on what's been another crazy week and another rough day. Don Katz, founder and executive chair of Audible, founder of Newark Venture Partners, and Sam Caucci. He is the CEO and founder of 1Huddle. From Tim Stenovec, I'm Carol Massar. Have a safe evening, all.